All right, so a lot of people don't know that I don't follow Garveyism and definitely don't follow white supremacy. But a lot of people don't know that, I say Edward Allen Clark. That's a rock singer. No, Edward Young Clark. Okay, I had to correct myself. Back in June 25th, excuse me, 1922, Marcus Garvey had a meeting with Ku Klux Klan in Atlanta, Georgia, and they discussed a lot of things in there. He praised them for Jim Crow and segregation. He wanted African American people to model the same way that the Klan, uh, and also too to be black supremacists, black segregationists, just like they have white supremacists. And there are a lot of people don't know that W.E. Du Bois, there were Jews who founded in the WCP, but it was not always Jews. It was former slaves, both mixed, particularly mulatto or triracial, and pure black, along with some white Protestants who were liberal and some Jews. It wasn't only Jews that founded the NAACP. And a lot of people do not know that W. Du Bois and Marcus Garvey did not get along. W. Du Bois was mixed. Marcus Garvey was too, but he was dark skinned. He had Irish in him. And I'm going to look at his documentary tonight if I can, if I don't go to sleep. See, in Jamaica, just like they have in Haiti and other parts of Latin America, Caribbean, Latin America, the lighter skinned people, extremely light skinned people, fair skinned people was on top. Remember, after the independence, one of the independence of white people, and the mulattoes who were very light skinned, very exotic looking, very extremely, they didn't look like pure black people, or they looked similar to pure blacks, were on top and controlling Jamaica. And he felt racism and colorism there. He talked about going back to Africa and be proud of African roots. And when he came to the United States, the argument was different because we had the one drop rule. What that means, if any drop a black in you, you was considered black no matter what you look like. Okay, and so the NAACP, event of colored people. Okay, National Advancement Association, the Association National Advancement of Colored People. He did not like the fact that W. Du Bois, Walter White, and people like Frederick Douglass and Booker T was fighting for integration because we're Americans. We should be equals like everybody else, fight for education, fight for the better qualities of life. He was against that. A lot of us know he went to here we go, went to the ghetto to, represent people of North who was struggling, went to them. That's where he started his movement. Then he went to start to go to the South. A lot of people is mistaken, if I had to do my research again, the idea of him meeting the Ku Klux Klan was to get more members of the African community to be a segregation just for the Klan. People who praise segregation today, which makes me sick to my stomach, don't realize that there's economic default. After slavery had ended, they didn't want anybody to drop a black DNA being part of the regular society. And I think that Latin America has a lot to do with that. And number I brought Latin America. As in Latin America, you have in the Caribbean, you have a mixture of European, Native, and black. Okay? That's what thank you. In interracial marriage being legalized, no love virgin case and no one drop rule and blood quart. Okay? Yes, it's colorism. Those who are lighter, close to European looking, those who are indigenous in Africa at the bottom, whether it be Mexico, Puerto Rico, the Republic, or whatever, in Jamaica, the Hispanic country, Jamaica. Okay, of course, okay, in South America or whatever. But you have a mixed population, okay? In America, the white population, the elite, was scared after slavery ended. They lost money, all these banks and corporations that was funding these slave owners who was in the South, who control our ancestors, who are also part of us as well, okay? You know, they lost money when they lost the war, because slavery was about money, okay? They was afraid that the people slaves that was uneducated, okay, would come into society, be on welfare, be like crimes, because they did not know how to, have skilled labor. Only thing they don't do is pick out. That's why some slaves did not go out the plantation when they slavery ended. They stayed and worked for their master, even for free, in order because they know where to go. They had this fear, okay? So The idea was called eugenics, because with Planned Parenthood and Margaret Sanger as well, and Darwin's cousin, Charles Darwin's cousin, who started it, who's just as racist as he is. Even I don't believe in Darwinism, but you don't understand. It's also too. That's what registration came in, and a lot of folks know there were African descendant people who did took positions during that time, which probably reason why my fourth grandfather, who was Creole on the other side of the family, who was passed for white man or white woman after slavery. Okay, because their time registration days, they were free. You had, even here in Texas history, you can look at the people. The men was lighter skinned who were black Texans who was part of the Senate and payrolls. White folks were scared of that. White race people. That's why they had the movie Birth of the Nation, praising the Klan and this and that, and Silas Lynch situation, race mixing, because it was afraid that their population was gonna go down. It would look like Latin American, Jamaica, rest, you know what I'm saying? And the white class would not did funded slavery. Okay, since the beginning, the elite will have to mix with this population. Okay, that's why they further one drop rule got really extreme after slavery, even though it started beginning, say, with the condition of the mother being a slave. Now, especially in Virginia. Now, when so Marcus Garvey came here, his idea was light and dark, and didn't like the fact these lighter skinned people who were like him had, was teaching about integration and this and that, and he was against that. So the idea was joining with the Ku Klux Klan was to cause racism amongst African descendant people, so they would not have the interest to integrate in the population and not to mix, okay, openly, even though we already had mixed DNA in us, and to have a segregated mindset like the white racist people. And a lot of us not know, and this is the theory is that that's why the lynchings happen in the South. They organized that so it will make Africans and people say, I don't like white people, I hate white people, and I'm gonna join the black nationalist movement. Okay. And one thing when W. Du Bois got into it with Marcus Garvey, and he was calling him, at first he started out he don't like being black. Here we go. Every time we have freedom, here comes someone bring that up to try to make our minds they can control them so we can be controlled by them. Then he couldn't control Du Bois when Du Bois was very educated. Okay. Then he wanted to get the Ku Klux Klan to go kill the nation, the NAACP, so they can stop this integration, fighting civil rights, and going against Jim Crow. Also, too, he didn't like the fact they were mixed and he looked pure black, okay? So, you know what I'm saying? Because he had Irish ancestry. So, he wasn't pure black, but he looked pure black with that dark, so he liked motherland Africa. So, the truth of the matter is, that's when this idea, the color is along with racism come in. The idea of the Ku Klux Klan further this agenda because they wanted African people to be controlled by having one drop of DNA to tell our people what their place was, not to cross that line. So a lot of people do not know that's why there was lynchings and murders, intimidation by the Klan. You had Klansmen who were judges and lawyers and doctors and also police officers. You couldn't go snitching on nobody. White folks call you a nigger harassing because Dick 19 is cahoots with that person. Okay? So y'all don't understand that's the whole reason why. So you got Marcus Garvey, or this man, he's going to tell these Negroes to stay in their place. They weren't pure black, dark, black, whatever. Now, okay, that's the idea of their meeting. A lot of people also do not know that in that situation, what else happened? He got caught with mail fraud because he was exploiting his people. He was getting this dream that would go to Africa. He was trying to buy ships. The ships were not good. He was also spending money in the United States, in Canada, in United Kingdom, England, and they never went to Africa. It was already back to Africa when Lincoln sent the slaves back to Liberia, okay? And so, and it's weird because colorism happening because you have folks who weren't pure black who looked like they was on top, dark skin. They tried to slay, and they had those who were light skinned, and they try to slay the Africans over there. You know what I'm saying? No, ask any Liberian, they will tell you who from Liberia, who is not any connection with American black ancestry, will tell you that the African descendant people who got sent back to Africa, was made their own country, Liberia, and they had the light-skinned people on top who look close to white or look white, and those who are dark at the bottom. They also tried to enslave the other Africans there in those regions. No, for real, a lot of folks not know about that. Okay, about Liberia. Okay, now the truth of the matter is that they was already moving. But the idea was to take money because he was not a good businessman, and he was taking money from people, and he went to the underclass. A lot of folks love to go to the underclass, economic underclass, African people in the ghetto to explore, and that's exactly what people do that for. And he did that. And one thing that Dirty Boy was trying to point out, that his agenda is in Jamaica. It's not the United States agenda because, of course, he had different shades, but we all was considered as color, Negro, black, whatever you want to call it. And, we're mixed. We're being segregated because of that one drop. And we also should be equal here since our ancestors wrote, who are Africans and built that White House, fought in the war, the black Native American man who's mixed biracial. Crispin Attucks was the first man to beat the bullying Revolutionary War. Okay, that's why I celebrate 4th of July. We fought in every war. You know what I'm saying? Even had those on the Confederate side. Okay, you know what I'm saying? Along with the Union side. So we should be treated like America. We have the 14th Amendment. Why we have to be in this, economic default and total we close away from the rest of society and have less educated books? You know what I'm saying? A lot of folks don't understand this now. Marcus Garvey wanted the African descendant population to be segregated. He did not want no mixing. He didn't like the fact that you had people who did not look like him, because it reminded him back at home in Jamaica of the light-skinned people who, who didn't look like him, who were different hair texture, was discriminating him. And that's why he was getting to get with the white folks, and not get the folks not looking at that. Now, there were all these lynchings and murders and rapists that happened after slavery and Jim Crow was going on. It was intimidation tactics to make African people go on the black national side and to think for segregation and stay in a place and not come up. Because the idea of segregation was not about building your own business and stuff in towns. It was about economic default due to having one drop of black DNA and not being part of the white class that had money. That's what all it's about. So a lot of folks not looking at this, but I did do a lot of educational searches, and a lot of folks understand why I don't like Marcus Garvey. I'm not a fan of Marcus Garvey. I'm glad that Du Bois called it out, and he was caught with mail fraud. There was people to the government. In my opinion, I don't know if J.F. who was in the government at the time was the FBI, and he was mixed with black, looked like a white being passed, and he was going against every leader, every African American community that was fighting for civil rights. But we right here is Marcus Garvey. When they was debating, just like with the Corner X situation, Du Bois said, "Where's that money that you getting from these people and get where's this money?" And that will open the investigation up, which led to finally he mail fraud. He was charged with mail fraud, and everyone said the government set him up. The government not set him up. What it was, he was taking money from the African community, and this goes on in many black nationalist groups. Carter X is guilty of to this day right now, along with even the Bean Pie people, Nation Islam. They do take money from them. Remember, they was getting funded by Ku Klux Klan, H.L. Hunt. Okay, so the folks understand these ideas, these black national ideas, which I do not follow. These are rigid rules, cult-like rules, anti-freedom rules of having one drop black DNA. These ideas are from a mouthpiece of white supremacy. This is the idea to keep us in our place, and they need an African person to preach for it and tell us that we hate ourselves when we don't. We love ourselves. We love yourself when we make our own choices in life. Controlled by somebody else, not puppet somebody else. And that's what, when they don't like us as an individual, they don't like me as an individual because I go against their rhetoric. They can't control my mind by itself. So I just let y'all know the connection between white supremacy and black national, aka Garveyism, is same. It's it's why we can progress over there. And Du Bois warned us that Marcus Garvey was dangerous to our community, and that's why we in the situation we're in today. I gotta say.